إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن بالله ونشكره ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وكل من اهتدى بهداهم واستنى بسنتهم واقتفى أثرهم إلى يوم الجزاء والدين. معاشر الإخوة الصالحين, with the month of Ramadan coming to an end, with this month of blessings and this month of high spirituality coming to an end, we need to ask ourselves questions about what have we achieved in it. We need to reflect on what have we done in the month of Ramadan. We need to understand how the month of Ramadan has impacted our lives, how our lives have changed as a result of this month of Ramadan. Are we living today the same exact lifestyle as we were living before the month of Ramadan comes? Or have we changed to the better? Have we changed our lifestyles somehow? Have we stopped making some sins that we are used to? Have we achieved the piety that is the main purpose for which Ramadan was prescribed? Allah Azza wa Jalla says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you might become righteous. We need to ask ourselves, how successful have we been in it? Have we been amongst those that Allah Azza wa Jalla has described? كَانُوا قَلِيلًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ مَا يَهْجَعُونَ. Have we been amongst this category that used to sleep but little in the night? Have we been amongst this category that have truly changed their life, that have taken advantage of every single minute of Ramadan to make and to adjust their lifestyle and to make and to improve their lifestyles? Or have we been amongst the unfortunate ones that Allah Azza wa Jalla has described as وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ, and those are the headlands? The month of Ramadan is now almost gone, and with it part of our life. We need to remember that every single day that goes from our life is part of us that goes, and we will only see the result of what we have done in it in the day in which every soul will be recompensed for what it has done. Every single day of the month of Ramadan now is that has almost gone. You will only see the result of it in the day when everybody will be given his reward. And remember that every single moment that goes is part of you that goes. Hassan al-Basri, he used to say, يَا ابْنَ آدَمْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ أَيَّامٌ كُلَّمَا مَضَى مِنْكَ يَوْمٌ بَضَى بَعْضُ. O son of Adam, you are a number of days, and every day that goes, it's part of you that goes. It's gone, and it's gone with our deeds with it. Whether we have lived it in a high state of spirituality, whether we have lived it with taqwa, with the piety, or whether we have lived it in completely in total neglect. In both scenarios, it has gone, and we will only see the results in the day that Allah has described. اليوم تجزى كل نفس بما كسبت لا ظلم اليوم. In the day where every soul will be recompensed for what it has done. There is no injustice out there. There are two categories of people in the month of Ramadan. There are clearly two categories of lifestyles in the month of Ramadan. The first category is a category that has been successful in it. They have failed to change in their life. They have benefited from every single moment of Ramadan. They have tasted the sweetness of the prayer. They have wept for their Lord, for their Lord. They have truly fasted the month of Ramadan. They have truly worshipped Allah Azza wa Jalla in the nights. And this category is certainly the successful category. We do still have some advice to give them. If you have been amongst this first category, then I would recommend you three things. The first one is to thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for what you have achieved. This is a true blessing, to be amongst those who have been successful in it, to be amongst those who have wept for their Lord, while others are headless, while others are in their lifestyles neglecting completely the blessings of the month of Ramadan, neglecting how the period is important. If you have been successful, then you need to thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for what you have been granted. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ. This is a blessing, and all blessings come but from Him. And we need to remember that with the blessings, we need to make shukr. We need to thank Allah Azza wa Jalla. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, if you thank me, then I will give you more. So we need really to remember to thank Him for what we have done as a goodness in this month of Allah. That's the first advice. The second advice is, we need to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept our deeds. There is a difference between doing the good deeds, or what we feel we have done as good deeds in the month of Ramadan, and having those deeds accepted is another portion. We might have been as much successful as we want in it. We might have felt that we have really changed our life in it. But whether our deeds were accepted or not, this matter only belongs to Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَقْبَلُ. He accepts if He wants, and He refuses if He wants. We might have done some acts, but the sincerity was not truly there. We might have done some acts just because of the effect of the group, but otherwise we would not have done them. So for all of these shortnesses that might impact our prayers, we need to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept. We need to accept our deeds with their mistakes. And we all make mistakes. This is the second point. The third point that I wanted to mention is, we need to stay fast on this path. You don't want to be going to a lifestyle of sins after you have tasted the sweetness of the worship. You don't want to be going to a lifestyle in which you don't stand up in the night at all for your Lord. You don't weep at all. You don't open that book until the next Ramadan comes. This will be a true loss. If you go back to a similar lifestyle, then Ramadan will not have had any impact on you. Allah Azza wa Jalla gives us this opportunity of the month of Ramadan so that we can recharge our batteries, so that we can come closer to Him, so that we can improve our spirituality, our connection with Him, and that connection should be and should remain throughout the rest of the year. Prophet ﷺ, remember that one of the things that forgive the sins is وَرَمَضَانْ إِلَى رَمَضَانْ. Prophet ﷺ, he said, وَرَمَضَانْ إِلَى رَمَضَانْ مُكَفِّرَاتٌ لِمَا بَيْنَهُنَّ مَجْتُنِبَتِ الْكَبَائِرِ. One of the things that forgive the sins is when you steadfast in that Ramadan until the next Ramadan. And remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, خَيْرُ الْأَعْمَالِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The best acts are those that are done continuously. You don't want to be, after making all of this effort, after reviewing truly your balance with your Lord, after reviewing your accounts, and after having that strong relationship, you don't want to be going to a lifestyle in which you absolutely don't pray in the night, in which you probably will fast only when the next Ramadan comes. And that's the third advice which I have for you. Remember that when Ramadan ends, it's not the end of our work, it's not the end of our deeds. Our work will truly end only with your last breath. When you take your last breath and you are going to meet your Lord, that's the only moment you can think, I have done all I can. But after Ramadan, we shouldn't stop doing what we have done. We shouldn't, the purpose of our life will never change. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. We will not have holidays from this purpose. The only holiday we'll get is when you are going to get back your book and you are to be called among the successful ones and you are to receive the glad tidings of the Jannah. That's the only moment you can take holidays. Before that, you have been built for a purpose. You have been created for a purpose. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. And they don't create the mankind and the jinn kind unless to worship me. If you have been amongst the unsuccessful category, if you have been amongst the unfortunate ones, if you have been headless while you see others around you really weeping for their Lord, you see hearts vibrating for their Lord, you see people really truly benefiting from moments, and you're just like living your lifestyle, you haven't felt anything during Ramadan. you haven't felt any change of life, you are doing exactly the same mistakes, you are making exactly the same sins as before, then I have two advices for you. The first one is to review your account with your Lord, to understand what is that sin and what is that mistake that is making you not benefit from Ramadan. What is that sin that is stopping you from truly benefiting from the light of the worship, from stopping the light of the benediction of the worship to come into your heart? Has your heart really rusted to that point that you do see others making this successful effort, making all of these good deeds, and you're not being touched by it? The period is a period of good deeds. The hearts are more inclined towards the good deeds. The devils are chained up. The doors of the heavens are open. The doors of the hellfire are closed. And the soul is inclined to do the good deeds. And if with all these conditions you don't feel anything, you don't see any difference in your lifestyle, you're just living the same sins, you're just exactly doing the same thing outside of the month of Ramadan, then there must be something wrong in your life that you are doing that you need to review with your Lord. There must be something that is stopping you from benefiting from the sweetness of the worship. And you need to understand what is that so that you can correct it. And that's the first advice. The second advice is, there are still days left. Probably not many, few days, but more than enough to make up for what you have lost. More than enough to join the caravans of the worshippers, more than enough to weep for your Lord, more than enough to change your lifestyle. قل يا عبادي, remember this verse. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Say to my servants who have committed great injustice towards themselves, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Do not despair from the mercy of your Lord. إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. He can forgive you just by one night. Just standing in front of Him, just asking Him truly with that sincerity, with that humiliation, with the presence of the heart, that I want you to accept for me, even though I have made so many mistakes in this Ramadan. نسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يوفقنا وأن يجعلنا ممن صامه إيمانا واحتسابا. اللهم اجعلنا ممن صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا. اللهم اجعلنا ممن غفرت له الذنوب وسترت عنه العيوب يا رب العالمين. كما كمل أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.